People up and down the country are so frustrated by what they see as one rule for them, one rule for us.
We need Nigel Farage in, we need Donald Trump in, we need people like that in. Anyone that tells the truth gets targeted as a far right.
The scariest development has been given least attention. It emerged that our government is considering adopting an official definition of the term Islamophobia. The Labour Party has already accepted the definition internally as drawn up by the all-party parliamentary group on Muslims, part of which states Islamophobia is rooted in racism and is a type of racism that targets expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness. Let me be clear, anti-Muslim bigotry is very real. We saw it last week in attacks on a mosque, and it needs to be condemned and called out. But prejudice and hatred expressed towards a group doesn't make it racism when that group is not bound together by an ethnicity, but rather an ideology. In this case, that ideology is a religion. And British people, as do other countries in the West, have anti-blasphemy laws specifically created to allow us to criticize and make fun of religion, any religion. The right to do so is one of the founding principles that binds our modern liberal democracy. Where does that fit in then with not being able to target expressions of Muslimness or perceived Muslimness? Criticize a joke about the hijab, you're a racist. Criticize homophobia in the Quran, you're a racist. In 2019, Neil Basu, a former UK counter-terror chief, warned the definition could allow terror suspects to legally challenge investigations. AKA, if law enforcement stops an Islamic terrorist, you're a racist. And this is exactly what those who created this term intended.
What's going on in Britain? Things have got so bad that even the mayor, like you said, of London, Sadiq Khan, says he no longer feels safe there as a Muslim. Well, I'm genuinely sorry to hear that, but for 10 months, the mayor has turned a blind eye, like you said, to Jewish people and other ordinary Londoners who have not felt safe because of the pro-Palestinian marches in London, which the mayor has not lifted a finger to stop. Look, in my opinion, Sadiq Khan has let London become toxic. While hundreds of thousands of Islamists marched through the capital, Jewish people, like you said, felt intimidated and threatened. Why didn't the mayor speak up then? In fact, Sadiq Khan actually praised the marches for allegedly being peaceful. Well, Nana, they were not peaceful.
These divisions are not being stoked by the far right. They're certainly not being helped by the far right, but they are felt very, very deeply by an awful lot of peace-loving people who simply cannot believe what has happened and what is happening to our country and the speed with which it is descending. You know, a more politically astute operator would have stood there and said, I understand that mass immigration, uncontrolled immigration, the literally hundreds of people that are coming over by the day on Labour's watch is creating a great deal of deep concern in this country. And furthermore, that concern is legitimate. That concern is not far right. That concern is not racist. That concern is fully justified by the horrendous impact on our communities, on our public services, and on so many people's everyday lives.
Here we go. On the left, you've got someone Musk says made a racist comment, got 15 weeks jail. In the middle, someone who sold anti-immigration stickers and for that got 24 months in prison. And on the far right, someone who repeatedly raped a 12-year-old girl and got a 2-year suspended sentence doing 180 hours community service with no prison time, asking what the hell is going on.
Whatever the apparent motivation, this is not protest. It is pure violence, and we will not tolerate attacks on mosques or our Muslim communities. So the full force of the law will be visited on all those who are identified as having taken part in these activities.
One of the other things that has led to such ill feeling in the country is two-tier policing. Now, we had a fierce debate last night here about whether two-tier policing exists or not. Well, I'll tell you something, there is a very widespread perception that it does. Let's just see this from Craig Guilford, Chief Constable of the West Midlands Police, speaking earlier on today.
Salam alaikum. There is one tier of policing that applies to all of us, and that means that we police without fear or favour. Shukran.
I don't think coming out with foreign languages addressing one particular community in the West Midlands makes an awful lot of sense, does anything to dampen down speculation about two-tier policing. And extraordinarily, Emlyn Richards, the superintendent of the West Midlands, was asked, how was it that a large number of masked men, some carrying dangerous weapons, were allowed to go outside that pub in Birmingham? One man came out, was beaten to a pulp, was finished up with a lacerated liver, windows were smashed, the pub doors were locked for safety. How is it that wasn't being policed? And extraordinarily, what Superintendent Richards said, we had the opportunity to meet with community leaders prior to the event to understand the style of policing that we needed. So you ask a group of counter-protesters, what policing do we need? And they say, absolutely none whatsoever. And the police say, that's fine. What I'm making is, nothing is being done by the police or by the government to get rid of this perception of two-tier policing.
I have been very critical of the police in the past, particularly around the attitude of some police forces to the protests that we saw since October the 7th. You know, I thought it was quite wrong that somebody could shout Allah Akbar on the streets of London and not be immediately arrested, or project genocidal chants onto Big Ben and that person not be immediately arrested. That attitude is wrong, and I'll always call out the police for it.
Let's talk about the migrant crisis. Quietly, while people were protesting about it, another 355 came across the channel yesterday. 114 on Monday, 113 Sunday, 128 Friday, and so on and so forth. Getting on for 4,000 to 5,000 migrants have come into this country. It's over 4,000, I think, since Labour was voted into power. Question is what are they going to do about this? They don't seem to be doing anything.
If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to spread more awareness. Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Your engagement helps us bring more content to light. Remember, stay informed, stay engaged.